Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Season Keepers, the show where the only two people we recommend keeping for the season is us. My name's Matt, aka Clean Sheet Wipeout.
And my name's James, aka FPL Drug.
How you doing, bud?
Yeah, not too bad. Been a great week for me in FPL actually.
Yeah, not for me. We'll get onto that in a bit. It's been a frustrating week across all Sky and FPL fantasy formats for me. No doubt you'll hear me moaning on this podcast, and if you listen to the Sky podcast, you'll hear me moaning even more. But I think we should just get straight into the games, James, because otherwise I'm going to go on a rant, and I don't really want to do that right now. First things first. Leicester 0, Arsenal 2.
Now this was quite a bad start for me to the game week.
Yeah,
because very much the Aaron Ramsdale show. He made an outstanding save. I think it was a very good save. Maybe a little bit overplayed by some as like the greatest save of all time. I think it was a very good save.
From the Maddison free kick.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think I don't know, it wasn't dead top corner. It was a little bit towards the centre of the goal. But Ramsdale been doing a great job for Arsenal. Very confident at the moment, making a lot of saves in this game as well. I benched him and Ben White. I just fancied Leicester to score, so I stand by the logic, as we now say in the community. The decision was right or whatever.
I feel like we're saying that more and more often this season.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the result was not good for me. So yeah, so it's just a bit of a shame. I was a bit disappointed in Leicester, really.
Yeah, Leicester have been frustrated, haven't they? And I think, obviously with Ramsdale making 8 saves, they clearly kind of took the game to Arsenal a little bit, particularly in the second half. But yeah, Ramsdale kept them out. Obviously, we saw Vardy, show up again after getting subbed after 45 minutes last weekend. It was fairly anonymous, to be honest. I think, was it Iheanacho? Was he subbed at half time in this one? I think he was.
Yeah, Iheanacho got dragged off. Then I think it was Maddison went off for Darker. I was worried he was going to get pulled when I saw Darker warming up. He lasted the full game, but never really threatened. But normally that's not too much of a concern with Vardy because he just sort of pops up from nowhere with one shot and scores. So I think it's just a case of patience with Vardy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
and obviously
very frustrating though to own.
Definitely. A bit like Kane, to be honest. We'll come on to that later. I guess anybody that jumped on Smith Rowe a couple of weeks ago, you've got another decent haul there, a 9-pointer. So you've got, 22 points in 2 weeks? You'd take that from a player that's, 5.6 mil? It's bargain. It's just whether you played him. I can guarantee there was plenty of people out there that put him on the bench again this week.
I'd have benched him.
Yeah, probably would have too. Right, let's jump on to a game which the result took me by surprise a little bit. It was Burnley 3, Brentford 1.
Yeah, I fully expected a comfortable Brentford win in this one, but yeah, very surprised. And that man Conte turning up again. Another goal, and people are starting to talk about him now because he's 6 million, owned by basically no one. It's not bad. However, obviously Chelsea next. It's a bit of a tough one to chuck him in for, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'd probably hold till at least after the international break. And it's his price that puts me off. I mean, we spoke about him last week. Obviously, I was at the Saints game when he scored twice, and he was brilliant. He really was. And he technically scored twice in this game as well. But obviously, Chris Wood was offside for the flick on for his first. But he's definitely one to consider, given the fixtures. It's Palace, Spurs, Wolves, Newcastle, West Ham, Watford is their next 6. It's quite appealing, particularly if Cornet is going to be as far forward as he is playing.
Yeah, he's looked very dangerous. You can't really argue against what he's done so far. No. So definitely keeping an eye.
Yeah, for sure. On the Brentford side, obviously we saw Mbeumo was benched after his injury. The week before, didn't come on, which I actually think meant a lot of people got some good-sized bench points this week. I think James from Planet FPL benefited with Mbeumo not playing. He ended up getting Lowton off the bench from this game, and obviously Lowton came away with a 14-pointer. So that's quite a tasty return.
It is, yeah.
And obviously the other one asset, I guess, that people are talking about bringing in is Ivan Toney. I own him. Do you own him?
I don't.
Would you
I've
bring
looked
him
at
in?
him, maybe, but I don't know who for. Like, I think Antonio is the one that I'm looking at
Yeah,
potentially moving on, but at the same time, he's the highest scorer in the game forward wise at the moment. So
yeah,
it doesn't feel right taking him out. And whilst Tony's fixtures are good, he's also blanked, I think, in the last three.
yeah. He's actually blanked. Obviously, you got the where is he? Ivan Toney. Oh, he's not even on the bloody thing. Yeah, I think blanked in the last three. Yeah, you're right there. Which isn't great, but at his price, I think he is probably worthy of a gamble. Um, I can probably see Mbamo being back this weekend. I think he works a lot better alongside Toney. And obviously, with it being Norwich at home, Newcastle away, Everton at home, I think they're three very good fixtures to target. And then, it's Spurs, Leeds, and Watford after that. I think these six is probably when you'd like to have Brentford, and then by the time Christmas comes around, you'll be getting straight off of them again because their fixtures turn for the worst.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think if you're going to go there, now is the time. Obviously, it's about getting on these returns before they happen.
Yeah,
And this looks like one of those that's got potential.
exactly. Right, jumping onto a game that really looked like was going to get away from Brighton at one point, but they clawed it back. It was Liverpool 2, Brighton 2.
Yeah, another kind of shock of the day, really. Fully not unexpected. A class goal from Mwepa. I think he meant that.
Stunning. Yeah, 100% meant it. Yeah,
Beautiful goal. Trossard it just keeps scoring. He also scored another goal, but it got ruled out.
yeah, offside.
I say he keeps scoring. It's only 2 goals, but it feels like he's been returning a fair bit. But fixtures wise, quite a tasty run for Brighton now, from 11 through to 17.
It is, yeah. I'm not so much looking at them going forward. Obviously, I think it's difficult to predict who's going to play where. Obviously, Trossard was the false nine in this one. But defensively, yeah, I think Brighton are very appealing.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be someone there, whether he Sanchez or a Dunk or someone that you can sort of throw in.
Even is it Cucurella? I think he's been very lively, and in the forums that I'm in, Brighton fans have been raving about his performances. He's only 5 million as well, 1.1% owned, but seems to be there or thereabouts when it comes to bonus. So I think Cucurella could be a pretty good shout.
Yeah, fair enough.
And obviously, on the Liverpool side, there was a point where it looked like Mane had put them 3-0 up. Obviously, from Brighton attempting to play out from the back, really got caught out. Very lucky that it rebounded off of Mane's hand and went in. And I think Mane knew he didn't really celebrate, but his players ran around him. But yeah, at that point, I thought, oh God, here we go. This could be another like absolute mauling for Brighton. And they turned it around. And I guess to their credit, but Liverpool really took their foot off the gas. I thought at that point, and see, Brighton are there for the taking. You've got it to 3-0, and then suddenly you kind of a peg back. That there was almost a turn of events, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
No, yeah, it was a bit of a tricky one. I guess I think Liverpool could have even lost this game.
Yeah, towards the end, definitely.
I think they'll sort of, I guess, take this point and move on. Maybe learn a few lessons from it. Maybe they were a bit complacent in
Complacency is probably the right word.
preparation for this one, but yeah, Salah still returning.
Thank God.
Um, the game's captain, if you will. So
Yeah, pretty much.
that was good, at least.
I thought it was going to be a lot more. Obviously, got the assist within what 5, 6 minutes. So I thought, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
And then yeah, kind of
yeah,
started from
yeah.
there.
So did I, and it just kind of slowed down.
I hadn't noticed his ownership has gone to 71%.
Probably going to be the highest ever owned player eventually.
Yeah, it wouldn't
I'd
surprise
imagine,
me.
if not already.
Yeah, because there's going to be a substantial amount of dead teams, isn't there?
Oh
Right.
yeah, they're already having.
Jumping on to another absolute shocker this week. It was Manchester City 0, Crystal Palace 2.
Yeah, a week of surprises it seems to be. Fantastic result for Palace, showing what Vieira's team can do. goals from Gallagher and Zaha. Gallagher impressing. Very happy with Gallagher and my team. Goal and assist at Man City.
I
Couldn't
know.
believe it. I mean, I had thoughts of benching him. I was like, oh, I don't want to play him against Man City.
Thank God
But
you didn't.
yeah, it turned out for the best. I was thinking, I
Yeah.
actually, before the game week, was thinking of how I can get rid of him. Now, people are bringing him in like no tomorrow.
I was gonna
So
say he's only 8.8% owned as well. I thought he was a lot more, but I guess
huge
that's
differential for me. Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm used to looking at obviously the ownership stats in Sky, and obviously Gallagher in Sky is a very heavily owned player at the moment. But yeah, in FPL he's still somewhat overlooked, and just as well you held on to him, mate, because you got Wolves, Burnley, Villa, Leeds is the next four, and even after that United game, there's a lovely run up until New Year's Day. D-
Yeah,
Gal-
he's going nowhere
yeah,
now.
no, absolutely not. And obviously with Zaha, Elise, you've still got Eze to come back. I think Gallagher in that team, Palace look a real attacking threat, and Zaha kind of took the game to City, didn't he? Obviously scored early, got kind of in their heads, and Laporte for me, I think it was a soft red, but it was a red because he's the last man. There's another red card that, for my opinion, should have been that we'll talk about later, but actually no, well we missed it, didn't we? It was technically Johnny Evans, Aubameyang, but because he's not been sent off, we haven't discussed it. I thought Evans should have been sent off more than what Laporte should have been, personally.
Yeah, I think they both should have been sent off. I think
Yeah.
Evans was very lucky.
And I guess the reason we haven't touched on it is because it hasn't changed the result of the game. Whereas in this one, it almost feels like it stemmed City a little bit. And yeah, Laporte will obviously miss one game. It's not three, which I think some people mention. It's one because it was just preventing a goal scoring opportunity, wasn't it? It's not. Yeah.
Foul play on.
Yeah, that's the one. But I think you just, if you are there, you just probably move on to Stones, surely, because I think Stones will play this weekend, and then reassess. In my opinion, I think if Stones plays tomorrow in the Champions League and plays at the weekend and performs well, I'd be surprised if Laporte comes straight back in.
Yeah, potentially. So it's worth even at the short term, just maybe a short term punt.
Yeah, for sure. But other than Cancelo and maybe Diaz, I'm still reluctant to jump on City assets. See, there's quite a few on the likes of Foden, Grealish. You just don't know what's going to go on there. And KDB again wasn't at his best. I think he was taken off in this game. It's something's not quite ticking with City on occasion. And obviously, yes, they can return 4, 5, 6 goals in one game, but then you put in a performance like this, and it makes you reassess a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Moving on then to a game that definitely wasn't a shock. It was Newcastle 0, Chelsea 3.
Yeah, the clean sheet that we expected was delivered, but maybe what was a bit of a surprise was Reece James scoring 2 goals and
Unbelievable.
brilliant, brilliant goals. The power he generated on those strikes was incredible.
Yeah.
I can see him scoring more of those if he's going to be firing those at keepers.
Yep.
And obviously his price has gone up a bit. Chilwell's price is climbing as well.
It
Right,
is.
1 minute I was looking at getting him in at 5.7. Missed it because he went up to 5.8. He's now like 6 million.
Yeah, it's crazy. That I think they're both just going to continue to rise, and they're almost like the Trent and Robbo of seasons gone by, aren't they? At the moment, so you've got Reece James coming in with 34 points in 2 games. It's ridiculous. Like 21 pointer in this, and like you mentioned with his strikes, he's such a clinical striker of the ball. Like the pace that he can put on it, but the accuracy is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's sensational. It's like something of a striker. Like
Yeah.
it's reminds me of like how Mason Greenwood hits the ball. But he's a fullback, so it's very impressive.
And it looks
And
it looks effortless as well.
yeah,
That's
it
the thing.
does. Fantastic strikes. Strong performance from Chelsea. Havertz picked up an assist, but ultimately, I think I'd expect a little bit more for how much you're paying for him.
Yeah. You would have wanted more than 9 points in these 2 games, surely.
Yeah, definitely. And on the Newcastle side of things, not too promising.
No, not at
Obviously,
all.
they do still have the same team they had prior to the ownership change. Maybe in January they can blood in some new players, but
You'd hope so, but the way they're going, it's come January, it might be an incredible struggle to get out of that relegation fight.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who they go for as a manager. I've seen they've been linked to Eddie Howe and Unai Emery.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Emery in charge come the weekend. Those rumours seem to be getting stronger and stronger, and I think even the Athletic have picked up on it now.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
so it could see Unai Emery in charge come. Is it what, Brighton away this weekend? So he might be in the dugout. I just I think come January, Newcastle are potentially going to be second from bottom, and it might genuinely take a relegation for Newcastle to allow them to rebuild, get in the players that they want to get in, and get rid of the deadwood, and then start again. And like we've spoken about, it's not going to be a quick process, I don't think, for Newcastle. It's very much going to be a case of building on some good solid foundations and then pushing on from there. I don't think they can go and spend 60, 70, 80 million on players at the moment. That they just can't. It won't work.
agreed.
Right, jumping on to the game that cheered me up on Saturday. It was a much needed win and an away performance that I was actually quite proud of. Watford 0, Southampton 1.
Yeah, very happy with this one. We're starting to look a better team recently. Um, Che Adams with the goal,
Yeah,
Armstrong with the assist.
very good
So
goal.
both strikers doing very well in the absence of Broha.
Yep,
Um, Salisu again having another good game. Did get booked, but very solid.
he was. Yeah,
And yeah, no, I was a bit kind of maybe expected a bit more from Watford after their sort of strong finish against Everton. I was kind of a bit fearful, thinking they'd maybe score one or two against us. But Alex McCarthy, credit to him, made a great save.
oh, eight. Yeah, what was it? The 88th minute. That save that he made was unbelievable to keep it
Yeah,
at 1-0. But we should have put the game to bed way before that. As good as Adam's goal was, it was frustrating to watch Adam and Armstrong miss good chances. I think Adams missed a point blank header. Armstrong must have had at least 4 or 5 shots in the box, none of them on target. It was frustrating. Um, and I think it might be a case of them trying to snatch at chances because they know that the competition's there. So obviously, like you've said with Broha, he was missing through injury. Well, Broha stepped up the 2 games before that and scored twice. So it's not to say that if he is fit this weekend, one of these two might lose their place. Maybe even both, because we saw Redmond moved wide to accommodate them both. What's not to say Redmond will come back in up top alongside Broha? It's tricky, but I like the competition. It's good because our attackers are unpredictable in terms of the starting lineup at the moment, and at the moment it's proven positive because you've genuinely got players there that are wanting to take the opportunities when they get them.
yeah, yeah, that's great. And I think it's good because opposition managers are not really going to know what they're going to be up against.
No, exactly.
Both in midfield and attack, we seem to be rotating quite a few of our players,
Yeah,
and it seems to be working for us recently.
yeah, agreed. And it was good to see Walker Peters in for Perro. I've been kind of calling for that for a few weeks now, but yeah, nice to see him given a chance, and he really took it, and he came away with 3 bonus points as well. So right, let's jump onto the game that has ended Nuno Espirito Santo's managerial career at Tottenham Hotspur. It was Spurs 0, Manchester United 3.
Yeah, Ole came out on top in Sakiko. I
It
think I
was,
saw it.
yeah, El Sakiko.
Yeah, very strong performance from Man United and very good decisions from Ole. I kind of questioned him when he started taking, I think it was Bruno off and
Yeah,
bringing
yeah.
on Rashford, etc. I just thought, oh, is this the time to do it? Like, yeah, you're winning, but I think it could easily Tottenham could come back into it.
He
But in
took
fairness
both
to him,
Bruno and Ronaldo, didn't he?
yeah, yeah, both off, and then the credit to him, Rashford came on, did a great job, got put the final kind of knife into Nuno's coffin.
He did, yeah.
Very, very convincing performance for United, and yeah, not great from Spurs.
No,
It's just kind of like a sort of a similar version to Mourinho's team, really. Very defensive, very boring football.
it was almost as if they knew that Nuno was going anyway. They probably knew of ongoing talks and whatnot, and I can't imagine players were particularly impressed. I think Hoiberg's interview at the end, for instance, was was quite telling. He had to hold himself back before calling out a few people, and he got quite emotional there. We have obviously had the news though that Nuno has already been replaced, hasn't he?
Yep, Antonio Conte has come in, which I think is a fantastic appointment. I'm
Yeah,
surprised they managed to get him.
same.
Obviously, did a very good job at Chelsea. And I imagine he'd do the same here. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how he manages people like Dele Alli, whether he just sort of chucks him straight down into the reserves or whatever, or gets the best out of him. Because I think he doesn't take any shit
No, he doesn't.
from players. So
No.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Dele Alli,
Yeah,
basically.
the likes of like Dele Alli and Ndombele, I think, are two players that will either excel under Conte if they really kind of go with his ways and kind of believe in the plan. But if they don't, yeah, like you said, that they're gone. I mean, you might even see them loaned out in January. He'll be that kind of vicious in it because he likes the squad harmony, and if things aren't going his way, he not only tells the board but he tells his players. And hopefully, the likes of Kane might get a kick up the arse because he's pissing me off at the moment in the FPL team. And I can genuinely see maybe Kane, Son benefiting from Conte coming in, seeing an elite manager coming into that club. Yeah, Kane might not be there after this season, but surely he's going to want to prove himself under the likes of Conte, because at the moment people are questioning how good a player he genuinely is and his attitude. Well, if his attitude doesn't change under Conte, he's not going to be starting. And like you said there, I think was it Conte dropped Diego Costa, obviously at Chelsea when he was performing incredibly well because he didn't like his attitude in training and he fell out with him. Well, could very much see the same with Kane. I can't imagine Conte will continue to play him if he puts in the performances like he did this weekend.
No, agreed. And I think I do expect a kind of lift in Spurs' performances. So I'm a little bit concerned with those obviously going for Kane. It could hurt me.
Yeah, well, you could always jump harder to Kane.
Yeah, true.
Right then, moving on to Sunday's games. And first things first, it was Norwich 1, Leeds 2.
Yeah, very relieved to see Rafinha starting this one. I mean, I had Ben White on the bench anyway, so would have got something out of it. But obviously scored the goal, played well.
He did, yeah.
To be honest, I'm surprised Leeds didn't actually score more against Norwich because Norwich haven't really been impressive this season. I imagine Leeds would be a little bit disappointed to sort of lose a clean sheet
Yeah,
against
yeah.
Norwich.
It was a good goal from Omobamidele. I've been practicing his name.
I was going to say, I'll
But
let you say that.
yeah, it was a really good goal, but it wasn't a particularly great performance from Leeds despite the win. And they're still missing players. Obviously, Bamford, Ayling aren't fit yet. But yeah, Rafinha really had to step up to the plate, and he kind of really took the game to Norwich with his goal in particular. Kind of like took it round 2 or 3 kind of in the box, put it back on his right foot, and slotted it home. And yeah, it was a lovely finish. But I think say Rafinha had missed out on this game, they probably would have struggled to win it.
Oh, definitely agreed. They're missing Bamford. They missed Rafinha a huge amount when he's gone, so they need them back as soon as possible. Bamford.
Yeah. As for Norwich, if they lose this weekend to Brentford, then obviously we've got the international break coming up. Do you think they replace the manager?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a really strong feeling he'll be gone. It's their only chance, I think, of even attempting to stay up. I don't think they will, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose and maybe lose badly to Brentford. He'll be gone. All right, jumping on to the penultimate game of the weekend and a game that really turned for West Ham. It was Aston Villa 1, West Ham 4.
Yeah, fantastic performance from West Ham in the second half. They really turned it on. Just sadly, the player I own and most others own didn't really feature. And
Pissed me off.
four goals and not an assist
I know.
or a goal for Antonio. I think he got the pre-assist for 2 of them.
He did, yeah.
He played okay, but yeah, the returns weren't there, and that's what we need in this game.
I was screaming at the TV.
But very promising for future fixtures because West Ham are playing very well,
Yeah.
and naturally he'll get chances and goals in the games to come.
Agreed. Yeah, the only issue for me with West Ham is the fixtures. It's so they've got Liverpool, City, and Chelsea in the next five. In between that's Wolves and Brighton, and they're not easy games. Come mid December, their fixtures turn, and they've got a really nice run, probably all the way through to February. But it's whether you hold on to Antonio now or you move off of him for 4 or 5 games and then bring him back for that run. I genuinely think there's probably merit in going Antonio to Toney and then going back again when the fixtures turn the other way.
See, I feel like maybe that might not be the thing to do because if you remember at the start of last season, West Ham had quite a tough run and
Yeah,
they did really well.
they
They
did,
kind
yeah.
of surprised a few people, and I think Antonio was up there as one of the highest scorers after that tough run. So I wouldn't put it past Antonio to get a goal against City, a goal against Liverpool, whatever. So, but I am also, if you compare Tony's fixtures to Antonio's, you'd go for Toney
Yeah,
all day long
you
in
would,
terms
yeah.
of the run.
You would. I've got
I
both.
do understand that. Yeah.
So at the moment I'm not in that predicament because I've got both alongside Kane. But yeah, if I didn't have Toney, I'd be very tempted, particularly with say 2 free transfers, to make that move, and then reassess in 3 or 4 weeks' time. But like you said, he can return on any day. As for Aston Villa, obviously there was a moment where we thought they were potentially getting 2 red cards. I actually think it was the wrong red card that got given. I thought Conte's was unlucky, to say the least, whereas the other one was quite a clear elbow, to be honest. I think should have been a sending off. And it would have been interesting to see if they'd both been sent off because I think it's 2 separate incidences technically. Obviously, advantage is given following the first challenge, and then it's the second challenge that they've given. So yeah, I was surprised that VAR didn't potentially advise that both players were sent off.
No, yeah, fair enough. I agree.
Moving on then to the final game, and game of two halves really. It looked like once again Everton were going to get absolutely spanked at one point, but they changed formation a little bit to start the second half. I think they brought on Fabian Delph, and ended up being Wolves 2, Everton 1.
Yeah, I think I found this game a bit hard to call beforehand, but Wolves did particularly well. Jimenez scoring, Kilman return for anyone that's owning him. That's a treat.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't think I fancy the defences of either team. Maybe more Wolves than Everton if I was to go there. But yeah, it's straight another win for Wolves, and they're actually up to seventh now.
yeah, they are. They're playing very well, and Jimenez, once again, particularly impressive. I think him and Huang were very good. Huang was unlucky. I think he scored, but he was offside. Jimenez is another player that I'm considering because I already own Toney. I'm very tempted to move Antonio to Jimenez, given they play Palace, West Ham, Norwich, and Burnley is the next 4. Before then, the fixtures turn horrendous. I think Wolves probably have one of the worst Christmases. They've got Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, and United in the space of 7 games. I think it's incredibly tough. But yeah, for these 4 games, I think Wolves could take it to any of them.
Yeah, maybe. I think Palace and West Ham might be a bit tougher than you think. Palace have been playing very well, and
Yeah.
obviously West Ham were very impressive last game. But yeah, Jimenez is scoring.
Would you say so? Those 4 fixtures for Jimenez compared to Antonio with Liverpool, Wolves, City, Brighton, and then Chelsea. Who do you think scores more?
I think Antonio will get more points.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see now.
it would be. Yeah, I think it's one to keep an eye on. I'm unsure because we'll come onto our team shortly, but I may well just use the one transfer and change things back, change things a little bit at the back, and we'll come on to why shortly. But yeah, Antonio may well end up staying there because I'd quite like 2 free transfers post the international break just in case of injuries.
Oh yes, that's a fair shout. Right onto what our teams.
Yeah.
How did you get on?
It wasn't great. It was 46, so it's just above the average. I saw, I think it was a 12k drop to 38k, which is frustrating. Ramsdale got basically a quarter of my points with 10. Livramento got 6. Outscored Cancelo, Robertson, Trent, and Kane total. Like, he got a point more than what those 4 players got, and I think that sums up my team. Cancelo 2, Robertson nothing, Trent 1, Sarr 2, Toney 2, Antonio 2, Kane 2. See Rafinha and Salah there. And then your Aspie didn't even show up. And I believe he's starting tonight for Chelsea. Obviously, we're recording on Tuesday. They're playing Malmo. I think he's starting as right wing back. James and Chilwell have both been rested. So I think that bodes quite well. I'm very tempted just to sack it off. And I know it's a sideways move, but go Aspie to Chilwell, because I think Chilwell will play. Arguably, it's Burnley at the weekend. And Burnley are obviously a very tenacious team. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Craig Kemp, credit to him, mentioned it in a group chat we're in, that we could well see Rudiger, Chalobah and Christensen as the centre-backs because of their height and their strength. I wouldn't be surprised to see Reece James and Chilwell as wing-backs, and therefore Aspilicueta could miss out again. I don't want to take that risk. So, yeah, I might move him on.
Fair enough.
How about you then, mate?
Yeah, strong week for me. I think the best week of the season for me, 69 points. In terms of rank, yeah, it was 164k for the week, which is, I think the best week so far. It's seen me rise from 1.9 million to 1.2.
Nice.
So yeah, another green arrow, 4th in a row. So it's looking good. Gallagher 13, Rafinha 9, Ronaldo 12, Rudiger on 6, Christensen 6, Livramento 6, and even had Ramsdale and White on the bench. So
I know. Imagine if you played Ramsdale. You know,
I know I'd have been even happier.
Yeah.
8 more points. So yeah, very happy.
How many points are you in total now?
596.
Okay, so you're
Like 85 behind you.
91 behind.
There we go.
To be fair, that's not bad. So 1.2 to 38k is only 91 points.
Yeah, it's not much.
Well, particularly, you've made up 23 points in one game week. You know, do that 3-4 more game weeks, and you've made up the tally. So it's definitely possible there.
Good stuff.
Right, moving on to a quick captaincy shout for the weekend then, before we finish up. And is it as obvious as you think? I think it's tricky. Obviously, we spoke about permacap Salah. The temptation would be there, albeit West Ham are putting in some very good performances. Would you be swayed elsewhere?
Not really. I think I'm going to just play it safe and go for Mo.
Yeah, I think I might. Had Conte come in this game been after the international break and he had been able to bed them in, I might have been tempted to captain Kane over Salah. Particularly as Everton have been terrible at the back. They weren't great at Watford, as we know, conceded 5. Probably could have easily conceded that against Wolves. But yeah, I'll probably just pussy out and just captain Salah.
Okay.
I think it's the thing to do. Right. So we're delighted to announce that for this month, we've actually got some sponsorship. We were contacted by Manscaped, who were looking to sponsor the podcast, and they agreed to sponsor us for the entire month. So from November to December, we're going to have a little advertisement. So this episode has been brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 billion men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer just for you guys. So we can get you 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TSK20 at manscaped.com.
Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I now feel confident shaving my balls.
I bet you do, mate. This upgraded this upgraded trimmer includes a multi-function on and off switch that can engage a travel lock. It also gives you the ability to turn on the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. And to be fair, that definitely helped, given my bathroom lighting is shocking. The Lawnmower 4.0 even allows you to customize your trim through additional guard lengths with sizes 1 to 4.
Did I mention wireless charging? The new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer. It's time to get your own ball hair and body trimmer with Manscaped to make me time the best time and enhance your confidence. Your balls will thank you.
They certainly will, mate. And what's that code again?
Yep, so it's TSK20 at manscaped.com. You'll get 20% off and free shipping with that code.
So unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. And I think that brings the pod to an end there, mate. So, as always, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.